Trump breaking news. Donald Trump is in a financial bind, despite the overall effect would likely be a short-term one. An expert warned Newsweek that Donald Trump's legal troubles might significantly drain his cash reserves. The Republican is being sued in numerous trials and will have to pay damages. A New York City jury found him liable for $83.3 million in damages to journalist E. Jean Carroll for statements made in 2019. In those words, he claimed that Carroll was fabricating stories about the sexual assault that allegedly occurred in a dressing room of a Manhattan department store in the 1990s. There will be $7.3 million in compensatory damages, $11 million to fix the company's image, and $65 million in punitive damages. Last year, in yet another legal defamation action arising from his rejection of Carroll's claims in 2022, Trump was earlier forced to pay $5 million in damages. He has stated his intention to appeal the decision and has categorically denied any misconduct. In order to get a comment from Trump, Newsweek emailed his spokesperson on Monday. The civil fraud trial of the former president and current GOP frontrunner is set to conclude this week. Judge Arthur Engoron ruled in September that Trump and senior officials at the Trump Organization committed fraud in a case brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James. According to Engoron, Trump sought better conditions from lenders and insurers by artificially inflating the worth of his assets. The amount of damages that the Republican will be required to pay is one of 6 accusations that he will now decide upon. The others include claims of conspiracy, insurance fraud, and fabricating corporate documents. James wants Trump to give him back the $370 million he made. Although Trump's exact financial situation is unknown to the general public, he did claim to have substantially in excess of $400 million in his bank accounts during a deposition last year. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, his net worth is $3.1 billion, and his liquid assets are around $600 million. Real estate, such as Manhattan's commercial and residential skyscrapers, Florida's Mar-a-Lago Club, and golf courses, are primarily involved. Trump might be in for a serious financial jam if he receives damage awards totaling over $450 million in the span of a week. He may still be required to place the funds in escrow, a legal arrangement whereby a third party temporarily holds funds or property until a specific condition is fulfilled, even if he decides to appeal the verdicts. This arrangement will remain in place until the appeals process is over. According to Bloomberg's calculations, his estimated net worth would be about 15% of the $450 million worst-case punishment from the civil fraud trial and Carroll verdicts. Aside from those 4 felony indictments, the Republican is also facing legal expenses. He is not allowed to use campaign funds for personal expenses, such as damages, according to Jennifer Rogers, a former federal prosecutor who talked with Bloomberg. According to Todd Landman, a political science professor at the University of Nottingham in the United Kingdom's School of Politics and International Relations, who spoke with Newsweek, the accusations may cause Trump's net worth to drop temporarily. Landman stated that the overall estimated wealth of Mr. Trump fluctuates significantly and is comprised of assets and liquidity. In the event that the total penalties fall within the range of $338.3 million to $458.3 million, a significant amount of his liquid assets would be required to pay for these penalties. To get some cash back, he can always sell off some of his other assets. In addition, the Trump Organization is ordered to stop operations by the fraud case, which would result in substantial transaction expenses and the foregone income. Were these 2 eventualities to transpire, Mr. Trump would see a decline in his estimated net worth. However, the overall effect would likely be a short-term one, since he is proven adept at bouncing back from adversity, can trade on the proclaimed injustice of these trials, and strengthen the Trump brand that will allow him to recover, said Landman. According to Christopher Phelps, a historian at the University of Nottingham's Department of American and Canadian Studies, combined damages would just about wipe out his cash holdings, possibly requiring him to sell some assets in order to maintain his liquidity, as reported by Newsweek. To put it simply, even for someone as wealthy as Donald Trump, this is a major blow, Phelps continued. since Trump bases much of his personal posture on his purported commercial success and great riches, there is also the psychological factor to consider if the court concludes that he was fraudulent. What impression does that leave if a court decides that it was partly based on fraud?